Sagittarius. A specific day and time has been written for your miracle. Something unusual is about to find you. Sagittarius, there's a sacred rhythm moving beneath your life right now. A divine clock quietly ticking toward a moment designed only for you. You may not see it yet, but the universe has marked a specific day, a specific hour, when everything you've poured into the world will finally return to you multiplied. The kindness you offered without recognition, the love you gave without condition, the patience you held when no one saw your struggle, none of it was forgotten. Every act of generosity became a note written in the book of the cosmos, and the melody is about to play in your favor. You've spent so long being the light for others that you've almost forgotten what it feels like to be illuminated in return. To be seen, to be chosen, to receive without effort or guilt. But this weekend the energy begins to shift. The wheel turns not as punishment or reward, but as balance. What you gave so freely is finding its way home to you. This message isn't a fantasy, Sagittarius. It's an alignment. You are stepping into divine timing. That rare window where your readiness and the universe's abundance finally meet. If you feel that subtle vibration in your chest right now, that quiet something's coming you can't explain, trust it. It's the whisper of destiny. Like, share, and subscribe if you feel it. Not for algorithm's sake, but as a small act of faith. I am ready to receive what was always meant for me. Gate 1. The wait was never a denial, it was alignment. Sagittarius, your soul has been in a long season of giving. You've offered time, love, and wisdom to others so freely that it sometimes felt endless, as though generosity itself were your oxygen. And while that's true to your nature, you've quietly wondered, when is it my turn? When does the universe remember me? You've watched others receive opportunities, recognition, affection, while you, the giver, seem to remain in the background. But I need you to know something sacred. Nothing you've ever given has been lost. Every act of love, every prayer whispered for someone else, every effort made from a pure heart, they've all been recorded in the energetic field of creation. And the universe has been preparing the perfect moment for your return. Sagittarius, you were never forgotten. You were being prepared. Divine timing isn't random. It's precise. It's the alignment between your readiness to receive and the world's readiness to deliver. You see, your nature is so expansive that if the blessing had arrived earlier, before you understood your own worth, you would have shared it with those who couldn't value it. You might have given away what was meant to sustain you. The delay wasn't rejection, it was protection. Think back to the times when doors closed unexpectedly, when opportunities slipped through your fingers just as you thought you were ready. Each no that broke your heart was actually an invisible not yet. Because what's coming for you requires an evolved version of you. One who no longer overgives, overexplains, or overcompensates. The one who knows that receiving is as sacred as giving. This weekend, the universe begins to whisper signs that your appointed time is near. You may feel it as restlessness, a tingling anticipation that you can't logically justify. You might notice the world responding differently to you. Strangers offering kindness, synchronicities aligning too precisely to ignore, numbers repeating, songs echoing the very thoughts in your heart. Don't dismiss these as coincidences. They're confirmations that you've entered the window of divine reciprocity. Sagittarius, you've always had faith in motion, faith that explores, faith that experiments. But now you're being called to practice a quieter kind of faith. Faith in stillness. Waiting not as passivity, but as preparation. Your energy is recalibrating from constant giving to open receiving. This shift can feel uncomfortable, as though you've forgotten how to simply allow. You're used to earning, proving, offering. But receiving, that requires surrender. The universe doesn't pay debts like a bank. It orchestrates experiences that match the frequency of your growth. And right now, your vibration has reached the level where abundance can finally find you. You've outgrown scarcity thinking, the idea that you must chase what's meant for you. You no longer need to fight for visibility, to prove that your heart is worthy. Your frequency has already called your blessings by name, and they're on their way. But here's the truth few tell you. Even divine timing can be missed if you doubt it. The universe opens doors, but you must walk through them without hesitation. That's why this message comes now. To remind you that readiness isn't perfection. You don't need to be fully healed, fully certain, or fully fearless. You just need to be open. You've learned through pain how to discern where to give your light. You've learned that not everyone deserves access to your energy. And because of this wisdom, the universe now knows you can handle abundance without self-betrayal. You won't scatter your blessings out of guilt. You'll nurture them with gratitude. That is why the hourglass is turning in your favor. Sagittarius, think of it like this. When you send an arrow into the sky, it disappears for a moment before it lands. That pause between release and arrival isn't failure. It's trajectory. Every effort you made, every act of goodness that seemed unnoticed was an arrow. And now those arrows are returning, each carrying something you once gave: love, loyalty, creativity, courage, multiplied 1,000-fold. There is a day written for your breakthrough, and it's closer than you believe. Not because you've worked harder than others, but because your energy finally matches the magnitude of what's coming. You've stopped chasing people who don't see you. You've stopped proving yourself to those who misunderstand you. You've stopped giving where nothing grows. That inner shift was the signal the universe was waiting for. So this weekend, your task is simple. Protect your faith. Don't talk yourself out of what's already aligning. Avoid the temptation to measure your progress with human eyes. The real work is invisible. While you rest, while you trust, the universe is arranging details with the precision of stars aligning for a once-in-a-lifetime moment. There will be no mistake when it arrives. You'll feel it before you see it. A calm certainty, a pulse in your spirit that says, "This is mine." You won't need to ask, "Is this the one?" Because recognition is part of divine design. The universe doesn't send confusion as a gift. It sends clarity. And when it begins, the synchronicities, the calls, the offers, the unexpected help. Don't retreat into old patterns of disbelief. Don't apologize for good things coming easily. You've done your share of struggle. Now you're meant to receive and flow. This is the reward of all your unseen work, the fruit of your patience. So breathe. Trust the ticking of that invisible clock. The day and hour are already written, and what's destined for you cannot pass you by. When the moment arrives, Sagittarius, it will not knock softly. It will burst open like sunlight through a door you'd forgotten existed. And you will stand there, speechless but not surprised, because deep down, you always knew the universe was keeping count. Gate 2. The universe's return is personal. Sagittarius, the moment your soul has been waiting for isn't some vague miracle floating in the clouds. It's precise, intentional, crafted for you with celestial accuracy. There is a day and hour already chosen, where the lines of your giving and the lines of the universe's generosity will finally intersect. And when it happens, you'll know. You won't have to guess. You'll feel it in the deepest part of your being, the place that has been whispering for years, "Something is meant for me." You see, the universe doesn't return energy in generalities. It responds with precision. You gave love without calculation. So what's returning will be love in a form that finally meets you. You offered help without agenda. So what's coming back will arrive without demand. You kept your faith through storms, and so the return must come through peace, because peace is the natural echo of perseverance. Sagittarius, this blessing won't come through the same people who once overlooked your worth. The universe doesn't recycle what broke you. It creates anew. The ones who couldn't see your brilliance were simply placeholders in your evolution. What's coming will come through fresh connections, new opportunities, and situations designed specifically for your growth. You are not meant to be repaid by those who hurt you. You are meant to be restored by forces beyond them. And when it begins, you'll recognize it instantly, not because it looks dramatic, but because it feels right. It won't require performance, persuasion, or proof. It will flow with ease, the kind of ease that feels almost strange at first because you're used to fighting for everything good that's ever come your way. This time, Sagittarius, you won't have to chase. The energy will come to you like rivers returning to the sea. Inevitable, natural, unstoppable. First, you may be skeptical. The human heart, after long disappointment, becomes cautious. You'll question whether it's real, whether you can trust it. But pay attention to the consistency of what arrives. This time, the blessing won't vanish after the first wave of excitement. It will remain. People will show up and keep showing up. Opportunities won't tease you with potential only to disappear. The recognition you receive will not be flattery. It will be substance. It will almost feel eerie, as though the universe read your secret diary. The one where you wrote your dreams and fears in silence. The details will be too aligned to be random. The offer that fits your passion perfectly. The person who understands your heart without translation. The chance that arrives exactly when you thought it was too late. You'll realize then that nothing was random. Every waiting season, every unanswered prayer, every closed door was simply clearing the schedule for this precise appointment. Sagittarius, divine timing requires divine conditions. You needed to become emotionally mature enough to receive without sabotage. You needed to learn discernment so you could tell the difference between attention and genuine care. You needed to stop offering your best to those who had no intention of reciprocating. That's why it took this long. Not because the universe forgot, but because it loved you enough to wait until you could hold the blessing without breaking beneath it. And this is the wonder of what's approaching. It won't ask you to be anyone but yourself. It will not punish you for your intensity, your depth, your truth. It will fit the shape of your spirit. You won't have to shrink or apologize. You'll realize that everything you were told was too much, was simply the measure of what this next chapter required. Some Sagittarians will see this return through recognition. Work acknowledged, creativity rewarded, ideas suddenly valued. Others will experience it through love. A meeting of equals, a partnership grounded in mutual respect and admiration. And for others, it will be material. A financial or physical manifestation that restores balance where there was lack. But for all of you, the deeper gift will be the same. The realization that the universe has always been fair. You've been giving under the assumption that generosity is sometimes foolish. That maybe your faith was naive. That perhaps the world doesn't notice good hearts. But soon you'll see the elegant symmetry of it all. Nothing pure is ever wasted. The universe has been keeping accounts in frequencies you can't yet see. And the moment that account opens, your name written at the top, it will release not only abundance but understanding. You'll finally grasp why you had to walk through seasons of silence. When the signs begin, and they will, pay attention. You may wake up one morning feeling lighter for no reason. You may find yourself smiling at small coincidences. You may feel sudden gratitude for nothing specific. That's the soul recognizing movement in the unseen. You are tuning into divine rhythm. Then synchronicities will multiply. Repeating numbers, names, unexpected reminders of forgotten dreams. People may cross your path saying things that mirror your inner thoughts. These are not random. They are road signs guiding you toward your appointed moment. And yes, before the arrival, there will likely be a small cleansing, emotional waves surfacing to be released. Old disappointments, forgotten hurts, a brief sadness you can't explain. Don't resist it. This is your spirit making space. Energy must be cleared for blessings to land. Let it all move through you, the tears, the anger, the release. You're not breaking down, you're opening up. And when the last residue of old heaviness leaves, you'll notice the silence it leaves behind. Not emptiness, but readiness. Sagittarius, you've reached the vibrational readiness that magnetizes abundance. You've learned to love without losing yourself, to give without expectation, to stand in truth without apology. The universe has taken note. And now it answers not with words but with manifestation. The unusual thing about this coming moment isn't that you'll finally receive. It's that you'll realize you've been surrounded by unseen abundance all along. You'll start seeing evidence everywhere, like sunlight catching facets of glass. This return will remind you that you were never behind. You were being aligned. The universe doesn't operate by chance, it operates by resonance. And your frequency, Sagittarius, has finally reached the point where everything you once prayed for can recognize you. So this weekend, stay present. The air around you is shifting. The cosmic clock has already begun to count down. Not in years or months, but in heartbeats. Something precise, personal, and extraordinary is already on its way. Drawn to your light like destiny finally finding its coordinates. When it arrives, it won't feel like a surprise. It will feel like recognition, as though the stars themselves have whispered, "You've waited long enough." Gate 3. The signs of arrival and the art of opening your heart. Sagittarius, before every divine arrival, there comes a vibration, subtle, steady, unmistakable. It begins as a quiet shift in your inner weather. You wake one morning and the world feels lighter, though nothing has changed. You sense possibility again. Your breath feels deeper. Your mind feels clearer. This isn't coincidence. It's resonance. The universe has started tuning you to the frequency of what's about to find you. You may notice strange synchronicities, repeating numbers, Random songs echoing words you've whispered only to yourself, chance encounters that speak directly to your hidden hopes. These are not random events. They are cosmic breadcrumbs, signs from the unseen reminding you. You are on schedule. Sagittarius. Divine timing rarely announces itself with trumpets. It whispers, prepares you through feeling before form. This is why the universe is shifting your emotions first. The next few days might bring flashes of old memories or emotions you thought were long gone. Brief waves of sadness, nostalgia, even tears without reason. Do not resist them. You are not regressing. You are releasing. Your soul is making room for joy. When the energy of receiving approaches, it stirs the dust in every corner of your being. The pain that has lived quietly within you must rise to the surface before it can leave. So if you find yourself crying suddenly, feeling exhausted or craving solitude, honor that process. It is sacred cleansing. The universe cannot pour abundance into a vessel that's still filled with sorrow. Sagittarius, for years you've carried silent exhaustion. From being the strong one, the wise one, the bright one. You've smiled through depletion because you didn't want to worry anyone. But the universe has seen every hidden ache. This purification you feel now isn't punishment. It's mercy. It's the final clearing before restoration. And as you release, you will begin to notice subtle miracles. Someone will unexpectedly offer kindness at the perfect moment. An opportunity you thought had vanished will reappear. Conversations will align too perfectly to ignore. This is divine confirmation that the tide is turning. Do not dismiss these early signs as small. Nothing the universe does is small. These moments are spiritual signatures. Gentle proof that what's been promised is already moving toward you. Think of them as dawn before sunrise. Not yet full light, but undeniable illumination. For many Sagittarians, this alignment will come through emotional reciprocity, finally being met with the same depth of sincerity you've always given. For others, it will come through material means, an opportunity, reward, or recognition that acknowledges long unseen effort. And for some, it will arrive as peace, that long-awaited stillness after years of chasing, fixing, striving. You'll know the moment is near because ease will replace effort. Things will start flowing instead of forcing. What once felt uphill will suddenly feel guided. That's the signature of divine arrival. Not chaos but clarity. Sagittarius, you have a natural restlessness that makes waiting difficult. Your fiery spirit wants to act to make things happen. But now the lesson is surrender, the sacred art of allowing. You've done your part. You've planted, watered, and prayed. The soil of your life has been turned again and again. Now the harvest is finding its way to you. Your only task is to remain open. Being open means allowing yourself to believe again. It means letting joy enter even when fear whispers, "What if it leaves?" It means trusting that you are worthy of what's coming, not because you've earned it, but because you've evolved into resonance with it. The signs will keep appearing. Symbols, phrases, timing so perfect it almost feels scripted. You'll start seeing your reflection in conversations, in books, in messages that echo what your heart already knows. That's the universe confirming your alignment, speaking through everything it can touch. When you feel anxiety arise, the what if it never happens? Thoughts, pause and remember. Anxiety is just faith flipped inside out. It's your creative power turned toward fear instead of trust. Reclaim it. Breathe. Tell yourself it's already on the way. Because it is. And as the appointed day approaches, your energy will shift from waiting to readiness. You'll feel it in your body, calm where there used to be tension, curiosity where there used to be impatience. You'll catch yourself smiling at the thought of something you can't yet name. That's not imagination. That's alignment. The universe is exact, Sagittarius. It doesn't miss appointments. When your vibration matches your destiny, it moves mountains to meet you. Even if the outer world still seems quiet, the inner world knows. You'll sense it like the silence before rain. Heavy, full, sacred. And then when the moment arrives, whether through a message, a call, a meeting, a sudden turn of fortune, it will be unmistakable. You won't need validation. You'll feel divine timing in your bones. It will feel like the answer to every prayer you whispered when you thought no one was listening. Sagittarius, remember this. Your readiness is the signal. The more you believe you are ready, the faster the universe unfolds. Because the divine doesn't test, it synchronizes. Your openness is the green light. So this weekend, when the energy feels different, When the air seems charged, when your heart beats faster for no reason, don't question it. Smile. That's your soul recognizing that destiny is near. You are not just waiting for your miracle. You are walking toward it. Step by step. Thought by thought. Breath by breath. The time is closer than you think. Gate 4. Learning to receive without guilt. Sagittarius, the universe has already written your day of arrival. The moment when what's meant for you will step across the unseen threshold and enter your life. But before that moment fully blossoms, you must learn the final art. The art of receiving. Not passively, not with apology, but with sacred confidence. For years you've been the giver. The one who offered time, love, ideas, hope. You've carried friends through storms, healed others' wounds with your laughter, and guided lost souls with your light. It's part of your Sagittarius essence. Expansive, magnanimous, eternally optimistic. But somewhere along the way, you began to equate receiving with weakness. You started believing that needing help made you less powerful, that asking for support made you burdensome, that celebrating yourself might seem arrogant. So you gave and gave until your own well ran dry, waiting for the world to notice your quiet thirst. But here's the divine paradox. The universe cannot refill what refuses to stay open. When you block receiving, you interrupt the sacred flow. Giving and receiving are the inhale and exhale of the same cosmic breath. And the reason your miracle has taken this long to arrive is not because it wasn't ready, but because you were learning how to accept it without shame. Sagittarius, abundance is not a reward for good behavior. It's a natural reflection of balance. The universe isn't paying you back for being kind. It's restoring what was always yours to experience. You've proven your strength in giving. Now it's time to prove your wisdom in receiving. When the blessing comes, and it will come with divine precision, resist the urge to minimize it. Don't say, "I don't deserve this." Don't downplay your joy so others feel comfortable. Don't shrink your gratitude into humility that's really guilt in disguise. You've spent years carrying the emotional weight of others. Now you are allowed to be carried by grace. This next chapter of your journey is not about proving you're capable. It's about allowing yourself to be supported. People will want to give to you. Opportunities will open. Recognition will flow your way. Let it. Say thank you without justification. Smile without apology. This is not arrogance, it's alignment. And here's something few understand. Receiving is itself a form of giving. When you allow someone to love you, to help you, to recognize you, you give them the gift of purpose. You give them the chance to participate in your joy. For so long you've been the healer, the teacher, the encourager. But those roles can become walls if you never let anyone return the favor. The universe wants to balance the scales now. To show you that love isn't meant to flow in one direction. That even the sun, though it shines endlessly, needs the night to reveal its brilliance. That even you, with your Jupiter heart, deserve to rest in the warmth of others' light. As your appointed day draws near, you'll feel your energy shifting into a strange blend of excitement and vulnerability. The Sagittarius in you will want to stay strong, to stay independent. But your higher self will whisper, "Let this in." It's not weakness, it's completion. You'll recognize the arrival not only by what happens but by how it feels. You'll feel peace, not panic. Ease, not effort. The blessing will not demand that you sacrifice yourself to keep it. It will expand you. You'll breathe deeper, laugh louder, sleep softer. You'll feel safe being seen. And here's the beautiful truth, Sagittarius. What's coming will not drain you, it will refill you. The love will not confuse you, it will calm you. The opportunity will not challenge your worth, it will confirm it. You will no longer have to question if you're enough, because the energy surrounding you will mirror the fullness of who you already are. The universe wants to see if you can receive and remain yourself. To hold abundance without guilt, joy without fear, and success without losing humility. This is the true test of expansion. Not whether you can earn it, but whether you can hold it with grace. So when the doors open, when people notice, when opportunities rise, when love finds you, let them. You don't need to brace for disappointment anymore. The version of you who once accepted crumbs no longer exists. You've evolved past scarcity. You've matured into discernment. You'll no longer share your blessings with those who drain you. You'll invest them where they multiply love. And this is how you'll know it's divine. It won't ask you to compromise your peace to keep it. It will meet you exactly where you are. ready, radiant, and free. Sagittarius, this weekend and the days to come mark a sacred pivot in your energy. From depletion to restoration, from striving to receiving. The universe is asking only one thing of you now. Trust your readiness. Don't sabotage your own miracle by doubting its arrival. You've done enough. You've learned enough. You've become enough. When the blessings begin to unfold, remember, you are not lucky. You are aligned. You are not being rewarded. You are being remembered. And when that moment arrives, allow yourself to feel every ounce of it. The awe, the gratitude, the relief. Let it wash over you like sunlight on tired skin. You have waited long enough. This is your moment to receive without apology. To open both hands and let the universe pour into them everything that was written for you. At that specific day, that specific time, already destined, already promised, already yours. Conclusion: the hour of receiving. Sagittarius, the countdown has already begun. The day and hour written for you are approaching quietly, wrapped not in thunder but in grace. You've walked through years of giving, through seasons of silence, through lessons that reshaped your spirit. You've faced the ache of waiting and the fear that maybe the universe had forgotten. But it hadn't. It was preparing. Every delay was alignment. Every detour was precision. Every heartbreak was calibration. Now the wheel turns in your favor. What you gave from love will return through love. What you lost in confusion will return through clarity. What you offered in faith will return through evidence. The universe has not overlooked a single gesture. It was simply waiting until your heart could receive without shrinking. So when the signs begin, the messages, the coincidences, the calm certainty, don't doubt them. They're your confirmation that divine timing is unfolding exactly as promised. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to prove you deserve it. You simply need to stand still and let it meet you. Sagittarius, your spirit has reached maturity. You now understand that receiving is not the end of your journey. It's the continuation of it. Because when you receive, you amplify the flow of love that moves through all things. The universe gives through you, not just to you. So breathe deeply. Let gratitude fill the spaces that used to hold longing. Let peace replace expectation. The hour is near, and it carries your name written in light. When it arrives, and it will, don't whisper disbelief. Say quietly, I knew you'd come. Because somewhere deep inside, Sagittarius, your soul always did.